Okay, before we get started here, I'm going to, just a couple things. You guys see these sitting in front of you on the table. These are courtesy of Skywalker. Some pretty cool new products, actually. The bulk wire outlet looks like a pretty slick product. I might actually have to pick one of those up for myself. And the pass-through port that they're giving you guys. So check out some of their Construct Pro product. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Panamax and so forth. There is, wait a minute. Boy, that got stuck and started cruising. Okay. So how many of you guys have used any type of network management product like Bluebolt? A few of you? Okay. What'd you think of it?
It's good.
Yeah? Yeah. You roll less trucks because of it?
Yeah.
Less service calls? How many of you guys have went out and reset a cable box? How about a router? Cable modem? Okay. How'd you like to do that while you're sitting on your couch or at your desk? Instead of rolling a truck on a Saturday night.
Will it turn a power button on for me?
We can do a lot of things, but I can't fix the cable box industry. So this is a product that I think everybody should be using. The more and more that you use networking, this is definitely a product that you should be using, okay? And we can have these guys get you pricing as well on this product, but I will tell you, this combination right here, which is our Bluebolt gateway or bridge and our SP1000 outlet, okay? This can save you a truck roll, okay? Because you know it's going to happen on a Saturday night when you're getting ready to go into a movie or something and the customer is 45 minutes away and they're having a party, okay? It just happens that way. It's never convenient. This can actually fix a lot of problems for you. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So what is Bluebolt? In 2009, we brought out a cloud-based management system for essentially, we brought it out originally for energy management. It's turned out to be so much more than that, but basically it's cloud-based power control. So you can reset outlets, cable boxes, routers, anything. You can even set it up to where it can alert you if there's a problem, or it can almost self-heal. What do I mean by self-heal? Well, how many times do you get a cable outage or a power outage, something like that? Okay, well, if it doesn't see signal for a certain amount of time, you can set it from anywhere from, I think the minimum amount is 1 minute to 30 minutes. It can automatically start rebooting stuff, okay? Modems get locked up, it happens. So this is something that you can do and set up. I wouldn't set up a router or a Bluebolt piece to email you every minute when something goes out. It will annoy the hell out of you. Your phone will be dinging. And most of the time, it'll come back on within 5 to 10 minutes. I set mine for 15 minutes. Very rarely do I ever have a problem with mine. We have Time Warner in Kansas City where I live, and they're pretty reliable. There's other areas, Cox in Omaha. What do you guys have here for cable? Charter? Okay. So I don't know how reliable Charter stuff is, but it's got to be more reliable than Cox cable because their routers are set to reboot every 15 minutes, I swear. But so anyway, in 2013, we brought out some dedicated Bluebolt products, which is the products on the right here that I kind of talked about a minute ago. The whole thing with Panamax is the circle of protection, okay? They have been touting this for years. You want to be able to protect coax, your incoming coax. Surges, your telephone line, your data lines. Telephone lines becoming less important, obviously. Ground issues. We were the first ones to bring out a product warranty that, $100,000 in replacement cost. Very rarely do we have to use that because most of the time, to be honest with you guys aren't hooking it up right. You don't run your coax through it, and it comes in through the coax. If you're not running it through there, it can't be protected, okay? It is just a pass-through, so it's not going to block any signal. I do it in my own home, so I practice what I preach. I never did it before. I'm a firm believer, though, in Panamax surge protection. I have actually a personal story I'll share with you. About 10 years ago, I had a fire at my house. And what happened was on the back of my house, the meter can had a fault in the meter can, and it started arcing between the two phases. Well, it obviously causes problems. It was a fault in the meter itself, and essentially it basically melted through the wall, and burnt my entire electrical chase because it was right behind the meter can, okay, just like in 90% of the homes that are out there. So, of course, next day we're walking through, I have no power in my house, and I won't name the surge protector company, but they're very large, start with an M, you should be able to figure it out. Everything I had plugged into one of those. Monster. Yeah. They make a great energy drink. Every one of my products that was plugged into one of those surge protectors was gone. I had a very expensive rack mount piece from them, cost about $500, and it pretty much melted a tube amp, okay? Everything that was plugged into my Panamax or my Furman product, everything survived. So I have a personal story that I can tell you works, and if it's hooked up properly, the only thing it can't stop is lightning, and nothing can stop lightning. If it wants to get through, it's going to get through. They make great car stuff. So, we are also the #1 CI brand since 2007, I believe, as far as surge protection. Now, this only goes up till 2013, but I can tell you in 2014 and 2015, we won that as well. Some of them have picked up. Snap AV has jumped up in their power management and beaten out APC, but we still reign king, and there's a reason. It just doesn't break, guys. We don't get problems with this stuff. It just works. It works over and over again. If I would have had a Bluebolt on my laptop last night, probably would have saved my PowerPoint. So, platform overview. Do you guys know how Bluebolt actually works? I know a couple of you said if you've used it. Anybody looked into it before? Okay, so what you have is you have a group of products. You go in and you register it with our website. It allows you to go in and log in, and you can see each one of your customers' systems, okay? So you may have the Smith residence, the Jones residence, whatever, okay? You could have 100 people in there. You identify it either by name and address, however you want to identify it. It could be your customer number for your customer. You log into their system, and it shows you all the Bluebolt devices that are in that system. So our M4315 Pro rack mount piece has 8 independent outlets on it that you can independently control. So you can reset them or have them auto reset. You can name them, so you can actually, it's not just outlet 1, outlet 2, outlet 3. You can actually know what they are. It can say Luxel switch. It can say whatever you want. Blu-ray player. Okay, nobody's ever got that, Blu-ray stuck thing that they could never reset unless you go out there to unplug it and plug it back in, right? So this allows you to go in and actually change the status of that outlet. You can either cycle it, or you can turn it off and leave it off, or turn it back on. So you do have a few options there. You can schedule outlets to be rebooted. As an example, a lot of guys like to reboot their routers every now and again. This is the perfect way to do it. You can schedule it at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday morning to reset automatically, okay? So that's a huge thing. It will save you service calls, I will guarantee you, okay? And these surge protectors and products that are in this Bluebolt line, They're not expensive, guys. They start, in a rack mount piece, they start at $299. So it's pretty inexpensive. So, this is a little statistics about and case studies about some of the remote managed services that are out there, saving you money, rebooting a system using Panamax and Bluebolt. So, breaking down the cost of service contracts. When you have, how many of you guys sell service contracts? Grab one guy. How come? How come you're not selling a service contract?
Because they freaking own you.
Well, okay, but if they call you, you're going to go out there anyway, right?
The better thought is you own them.
Yeah.
RMR is a magical you charge $50 a month and you only have to roll a truck once every 2 years.
Yeah, when you get one guy, it's a little difficult.
I don't disagree with that logic. You're right. But the reality of it is you guys can create a whole new revenue stream for yourself. How many of you guys do security? Anybody? Okay. So if you guys do security, how many, do you like that recurring revenue? Okay, why can't you sell a service contract to do the same thing? You're going to roll a truck out there to reset their router anyway. Let's say you actually set up a time and you go out once a year with your service contract that you sold your customer, whether it's a $300 contract, $500 contract. You go out there once a year, you give them 2 hours of your time, you update firmware, things like that. Is it worth it to you? You were going to have to go out there anyway to reset that router. You're going to have to update that firmware anyway, right? Why not make money off this? Think about recurring revenue, guys. There's ways to make money other than just charging for your installation and your products.
It gives you a chance to sell more product.
That's right. Yeah, 2 years ago, 4K wasn't a thought, right? Now it's on everybody's lips, especially now that the masters are being displayed in 4K. So think about that, guys. You can get out there, you can make some money. It costs you money to send a truck out there. Try to recoup some of that money. You're not going to recoup your gas money to drive 45 minutes or send a tech 45 minutes if you've got multiple guys. This is a way that you can help to do that, plus create some new income for yourselves. So we have several products in the Bluebolt line, several rack pieces. The 4315 Pro and the 4320 Pro, there's only one difference. That's the piece here on top. The only difference is one is 15 amp and one is 20 amp. It's the only difference. We also have a M4000 Pro that we just brought out, a little bit less money. That piece is rack mount as well. Both of these pieces have independent control of all 8 outlets. On the 4000, you have banks of outlets. So you have 2 banks of 3 and 1 bank of 2. So whatever you have plugged into all 3 of those banked outlets together, they're all going to reset if you reset that product, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that you sell this into every home theater that you sell, but it definitely will help, okay? We have also another piece called I don't know if it's in my PowerPoint here, it's not, called an SM3 Pro, and it has 3 outlets on it. Anybody familiar with the AC215 from Furman? It's a little piece about this big. It's based off of that. The SM3 Pro is based off of that. It's basically just got Bluebolt added into it. That piece also has linear filtration built into it. So if you got a hum bar and a TV and you can't get rid of it without doing, one of those 39-cent ground isolators, this will actually correct it, and you don't need to do it, do a ground isolator. That's expensive. I'm not going to tell you it's not, but it will fix the problem, and it will do it properly, not just by lifting the ground. So. We also have the MB1500. MB1500 is a UPS, and we have the Furman branded F1500 UPS. So just same product, 2 different categories, 2 different product lines. One's in Panamax, one's in Furman. All of them utilize this one card right here, okay, the Bluebolt card. Essentially, it just gives us IP control. So we can talk to the units. You can control it with certain control systems. I know they have drivers for this in C4, Crestron, AMX, of course, Elan. So you've got a lot of options there. So you can actually set it up to control it through your control system as well.
Does the MB-1500 control individual outlets or is it banks?
Individual outlets. So, this is probably one of my favorite products. The BB-ZB1 and the MD2-ZB and the SP1000 are all Zigbee pieces, okay? Now, Zigbee has its challenges, just like Z-Wave and all the other wireless things that are out there. However, this actually has pretty good range on it. If you've got a large house that you're working in, 6,000, 8,000 square feet, and you've got multiple locations for your equipment, you can actually set up a 4315 Pro in your rack and then have these at different locations where you might have a cable box or a switch or a wireless access point or things like that. Okay? Or you may not even have a rack and it's just a small system. Let's say you're just doing an REL multi-room system, okay? And you need something to reset that. You don't have to put in a big rack piece for that. You can put in one of our outlets with our gateway bridge. Our gateway bridge costs you $99, and we have two different outlet options. This one's $49, this one's $119. Why are these two different? Well, here's why. There is no filtration and no surge protection built into this piece right here, okay? You have one outlet on the front and there's one on the bottom as well. Both of those outlets will cycle at the same time. Now it's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? If you don't need the surge protection and you just need to cycle outlets, it's perfect for that. You can also sell that. It's another add-on sale, but I use one for my Christmas lights. Works great. I know it sounds dumb, but sell it to your customer. If you're putting in one of these anyway, why not let them use that for their lights? It's pretty simple. On the MD2-ZB, there's actually two outlets on this, one on each side. Those can be independently switched. So you could have your router plugged into one and a cable box plugged into one, an access point, whatever, a lamp. Okay, you can set up timers, so you can set it to, if you want to use it for a lamp as an example, you just set up a timer, tell it to turn on at whatever time, 5 o'clock, and turn off at 10. So you have a lot of options. I know it's an expensive lamp timer, but we do have people that do that, especially if you've got it in a place where you have an access point or something like that. So this can be a really useful piece for you. Now it does have surge protection and AC filtering on that piece. The front cover pops off of it, and there's actually a screw hole so you can screw it into the outlet to secure it if you'd like as well. So $150, guys, retail price to get your customer Bluebolt. So we launched a mobile site in 2013. Okay, it's not an app. I will warn you of this. What it actually does is it gives you the ability to log into a website, so you can do it from pretty much any device that'll hit the internet, okay? And you can access any of your clients' information. As business owners, you can set up permissions. So if you have installers that you want to have access to this, or you have them, let's say, being emailed when a customer's system goes down, you can set this up to where they only have certain access. You're the administrator on this account, okay? So that means that if they decide they want to leave, they can't be screwing with your customer in the middle of the night. Okay, that's always a good thing. So we have some protection built into there for you as well. So that went live in January of 2014. It does work great. You can set it up to email you or send you a push notification if you want. There's a lot of different things it can do. When you look at the actual information that's available to you, and I know it's hard to see, but you can look at energy management, see what that outlet is actually drawing. You can look at device controls, which is will give you the ability to either cycle the power or just turn it on or off. You have device administration, so you can look at you can actually go in there and change the names of the outlets, things like that. Scheduled conversations. Okay, this is where you would go in and set up scheduling and set up email, things like that. Alert settings. This is when you tell it when you want to alert you, okay? If the power is going out, or I'm sorry, the internet is going out, you don't want it to necessarily start emailing you all the time. You want it to maybe do it every 15 minutes or something like that. And guys, why is that important? Because this allows you to call your customer and say, you know what, we just got a notification from your home that your internet is out right now. Can we schedule a service call to come out and take a look at this? Or something's not responding. Okay, so you have the ability to ping stuff. So when you set up, let's say, an AV receiver, you can set it up to ping. If it's not turning on, that's maybe a bad example, but something else, maybe a control system. If it's not seeing a ping, it will email you and tell you. So you can set up different things to kind of help you, tools to actually help you with your installations. And it can allow you to head out a problem before it ever happens. You may never even have to call the customer. You could just fix it on the fly and they never even know. That makes you a hero because they didn't have to call you. Yeah, we're not going to do the live demo because number one, it's raining outside, and number two, I don't have that demo case. They actually, when they first started doing this, would take products outside and blow them up. And they'd plug basically 220 into our surge protectors and then plug it into another surge protector, usually like a Belkin or something, and basically smoke it. So, power stuff. Any questions about Bluebolt? Okay. This is the SM3 Pro. I kind of talked about it earlier. You have quite a bit of information that you can get from this. It has 2 network ports and 3 outlets. It's actually 2 banks, 1 bank of 2 and then a single outlet. You have accessory ports for sensors, triggers, things like that. Again, you can put it behind a TV, solve a lot of problems with not only power issues, but have the ability to trigger that on and off with maybe a voltage sensor or contact closure or something like that. You can trigger automations and things. Comes with all the mounting hardware, and you do have override buttons on the front there, so you can override it. You don't have to log in to do it. This is the M4000 Pro, retail at $399. So this piece is, again, kind of cool. At $400, you get Bluebolt, so you get not only the ability to control it, you have a bank, I'm sorry, it was a bank of two banks of 2 and 1 bank of 3, 7 outlets, I apologize. And then you also have a front panel outlet, so there's a total of 8. So you have linear filtration built into this, so it is a surge protector. You can use it in your home theaters, things like that. And it does come with rack ears. Panamax 360 product. Has anybody used this product yet? Okay. What do you think of it? I love it too, man. I bought like 5 of these things for my house. I know it sounds silly. It's a surge protector, right? It's not just a surge protector. So these little blocks that are sticking up out of the end, you can actually remove these blocks. So as an example, I have this particular one behind my nightstand, but I've got the block pulled up and I've got my iPad plugged into it and my phone plugged into it, so I don't have to, stretch cords, that are 3 feet long to make them work for my application. It just pulls up to the top. I Velcroed it to the back edge of my nightstand. It works great. These are really cool pieces. You should be selling these to your customers every day. They're going to go out and buy them somewhere. They're going to buy them from Walmart. They're going to buy them from Walgreens, wherever, okay? It's happening whether you like it or not. So why not sell it to them? Why not offer this up to them? They're seeing these solutions elsewhere, okay? These are fairly inexpensive pieces. So the Power 360 tap, this gives you the ability to have 6 outlets. There's 3 on the top and there's 3 on the bottom. A lot of people keep their phones and things maybe in a bathroom or a closet or a bedroom. Okay, the one thing about this piece, when it first came out, they didn't have this, but this little area right here, when it's protected and the wiring is correct and the voltage is correct, it lights up blue. And I'm not talking like a little blue. I'm talking like Iron Man in the middle of the chest blue. Okay, it is a night light that you can see from space. They did put a switch on the side of this thing so that you can defeat that. It is important to know that as you're selling it to your customer, but it will light up your house. It is crazy. $39 retail, so not an expensive piece, guys. I'm sorry, and you have 2 USBs, 1 on each side. With the P36, you have a total of 6 outlets and 2 USBs. You also have a phone in and out at the bottom there and a coax in and out. So you can use it behind a TV and things like that if you want, or computer, or wherever. So the block comes out, there's an extension cable that plugs in. Once that plugs in, you can extend that up to 6 feet.
Does that come with it?
Comes with it. $60 retail. For $80 retail, you have the P38. Another cool piece. We get a lot of guys that sell these in the master bedrooms and things, behind TVs, even racks. I mean, that P366, how many of you guys have a USB device you have to plug in behind a rack, whether it's a Balin or, you know, think about it. You got a lot of those things to plug in these days. Well, you can do that. It's a 5-volt output, so. It does have some filtration built into it in all of these products, but the USB charging hub does come with the 2 cables included. So I know it's not a really exciting and expensive piece, but again, your customer is going out and buying these. Save the world from Walmart here.
What's the amp rating of the USB charger? Was it 2.1?
Yeah, 2.1. So that's it on Panamax. Any questions?
It passes through the satellite coax too.
Yes. It's a complete pass-through. I didn't believe it until I checked it myself.
So Mocha works through it.
As far as, and I've not seen anything that hasn't worked through it.
Because in the past, you'd like.
Oh, I know, it'd kill off signal.
Right.
We're definitely not seeing that anymore.
That's usually where it comes from, is the coax. I mean, most of my damages.
No, I agree totally.
Buried 1 inch in the ground.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay, so any other questions? Well, how about a few more giveaways? Why don't we give away some more of the...
Did somebody drop their tickets? There were some tickets on the floor.